Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Swiss Learning. We have today Aseem Soni with us. So, welcome, Aseem. So, Aseem is the CEO of our Swiss India operations, and he manages the entire industrial and retail operations in India. Aseem, a pleasure to have you, and thanks for obliging our request to join.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, Lakshmi.
Thank you. So, Aseem, I had an opportunity to learn more about you, or multiple visits that I did to India, and knowing you since I have joined. You come with a very diverse experience of working in multiple corporate food companies like Dabur Foods, Cargill Foods, Modern Foods, Dabur, and all. So, tell me how have you transitioned yourself from the corporate working lifestyle and personally as a professional to stepping into a very dynamic and a unique corporation like Swiss, which is of course a family business and also has leaders from different regions. You will be talking to a peer of yours from Saudi, another day from Greece, another day from Turkey. So how are you transitioning yourself into your role? I know it's been 2 years you're here, but how did you do that?
Yes, thank you, Lakshmi, for the question. It's actually been nearly 3 years since I joined the Swiss Group. And yes, you're right. I've spent my life in so-called the corporate world, which was more formal, more organized in that sense. The transition has been a mixed journey. It's been easy from the perspective that the concept of leadership remains the same wherever you are. So my whole attitude towards mentoring, coaching, guiding, empowering, enabling people to succeed hasn't really changed between my last corporate stints and the one that I'm running today with. But I guess in a way, moving to a family-owned business, or rather a family-managed business, has, in my view, rounded my experience on leadership. Because there are two concepts that I was probably only partially inclined to. And after having joined the Swiss Group, those two concepts or those two words have got nicely entrenched in my mind. One is empathy, and that's something that I've started to practice more and more. I was doing that earlier, but here it's an important trait to have given the longevity of people who have stayed with the business. And the second word I've learned here is livelihood. So empathy and livelihood put together is something that I was probably a little away from in my earlier stints, which has got nicely reinforced when I've joined the Swiss Group.
See, from annual of last week when we had India being shown as a star and the amazing numbers and results, tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel to be the star player of the evening?
So I cannot be more proud of my team. It's my team that deserves all the credit. And why they deserve all the credit is because they are the ones who've managed to so nicely transition from a business that was created by a founder, an entrepreneur, where Swiss Group had a stake, but the business was being run by another family based out of Calcutta. And they had years of a very comfortable journey with that founder and that entrepreneur, and had a certain way of working or delivering or managing the business. Now they are the ones, and I'm talking about my leadership teams, who have very successfully transitioned, and I should say embraced this change from working under an entrepreneur to now working as an organization which is a little more formal, with more systems, with a little more empowerment and more accountability, So I think the way the teams have transitioned themselves, I would not say all the members, but I would say about 80% of the leadership team members have very nicely moved from the last stage to the current stage. And with that change, whatever they've managed to achieve has been very credit worthy. So
Amazing capex investments that are happening in India from the presentation that I have seen. So tell me about the business expansion more.
So the fact that the group is wanting to invest in India only shows the trust that the group has in the Indian business and the Indian teams and the Indian opportunity. And going forward, the two businesses of retail and industrial have the potential to clearly double over the next 4 years.
Amazing.
And all the investments are being done with that objective in mind, with that intent in mind. And I am fully confident. Every time I discuss this purpose with my teams, I see a lot of reinforcements, nods, and they say, yes, it's possible for us to double the business in 4 years. So look forward to some amazing results from the Indian business over the next 4 years.
Excellent. So both of these facets of amazing results and huge capex investments are backed by an amazing team that you have, is what precisely I understand. And I know your team is a mixed group of people with different backgrounds, with different experiences, and being like Mohanda, been with us like for a very long time, 4 decades maybe. Shikaresh coming from an entirely different background, a very young leader, Nadia, stepping into the CMO role. So how do you manage this different kind of leaders under your own leadership?
Well, on the funny side, we have to keep the waters a little muddy. On a positive side, I think any fresh resource that comes into the business creates, I should say, a positive disruption. And I think all the people who have stepped in over the last 3 years, who've come from outside our group, we've been very careful to take people with similar values, but with a different level of purpose and aggression. Of course, as we went along, we also made some mistakes, but I think overall, the journey has been very rewarding. Thanks to the people who came in from outside. It's not very easy, I must reinforce, for the existing people to accept anybody who comes from the outside and starts talking a little different language. But as I said earlier, the teams internally have been amazing in trying to step up to that requirement.
So with a lot of young, new and outsiders coming into Swiss Group, do you think Swiss Group is going through a transformation now with regards to the way it operates, the way it looks at people and the business?
Well, I mean, the answer to this question is a vehement 100%, because we must appreciate that in India, the teams are moving from stage 1 to stage 2 and have to go to stage 3 now. The stage 1 was, as I mentioned, the organization that was run by a founder and entrepreneur. The stage 2 is the one that we are currently in, where the family is now taking over. The Khorakiwala family is in control of the business, and we are setting up systems, processes, and a way of working that is more sustainable. And stage 3 is going to be a stage that will nicely blend the entrepreneurship with empathy, with execution, and will embed all the values of the Swiss Group of family, execution, learning, and teamwork nicely into the organization. So that's the stage we are in today.
Excellent. So tell me, out of these 3 phases of you have just described, which, and you said we are in the second phase. You know, how do you have different strategies in managing the stakeholders from the family and from your own business, your distributors and all? You deploy different strategies in terms of managing challenges with managing your different kind of stakeholders. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah. So I think as far as the external vendors and franchisees and the distributors are concerned, the good part is that we are retaining the ethos of the organization, and we are not really trying to fix what is not broken. But from an internal standpoint, when we look at the employees, I think they are the ones who are gearing up to ensure that this organization or the set of organizations we have continue to grow and sustain and thrive over the next 50 to 100 years. I think the change that I'm seeing is more from my internal teams here in India rather than we trying to change anything outside the organization.
Excellent. Welcome back, Aseem, to the continuation of the episode. So, in the previous episode, we spoke about how do you feel being the topper of the star in the annual event, and we also spoke about the capex investment that are being done in India to expand the business and increase the capacity of production. We spoke a little bit about your journey from the corporate environment of working to a family business environment. So let's continue on the conversation. Tell me, managing such a diverse business, industrial and manufacturing together, you have many leaders under your leadership, and how difficult it is to manage a diverse set of leaders that you have. I see you have a mix of a young woman leader stepped up into a CMO role. You have a veteran like Shikaresh managing your franchisee chain. You have Mohanda, who's like with us from a very long time, holds so much of knowledge about us. So how is it? What is your strategy in the leadership management?
So there is not so much of a strategy, but more of a, I guess, a tact. As a leader, I have to first embrace diversity and be extremely tolerant of the different leadership
Styles.
and managerial styles. So that's the first job that I have to accomplish. I think going forward, I have to be cognizant of the fact that different leaders understand different languages in terms of the management language, and therefore it's my responsibility to practice a lot of what they call style flexing when I'm interacting with my team members, who are all leaders in their own way, whether they are at the helm of the businesses or they are the leadership team members reporting into the CEOs. So when I talk to leader A of business A, I use a certain style, approach, a different quotient of patience and explanation vis-a-vis when I talk to another leader in another business.
So you have to wear a lot of your own hats of different leadership styles to manage your own leaders. So it's not possible to have a leadership style.
So I guess it's more a communication style difference than a leadership style difference.
Okay.
The core of the leadership approach to how I can value add in their journey would more or less remain the same, because that's my approach and style of driving businesses and influencing people. But the way I communicate and transmit that onto the people I have to influence, that would of course be a different approach from person A to person B.
Yeah. So you also had one of your leaders leave you recently due to issues that we all are aware of, were spoken about for learning. So was there this instance influence your leadership style? You picked up any lessons for yourself from this, which you plan to be careful or redo or probably be more cautious next time with?
I think it did re-influence my leadership style, but it surely set me back a little and helped me to introspect as to what we could have done better as a team. I guess words like empathy, words like discipline, words like being firm on certain values of the organization, all that got reinforced. And these are times of rebooting yourselves also. And that's how we treated this departure. We used it to re-energize to re-establish what the values of the group are in that local business. So I guess all for a good cause. We sometimes use setbacks as opportunities to come back even strongly.
So, what was your first emotion that you went through when you learnt about this instance? Was it anger, disappointment, or anything else?
Yeah, I guess it's a mix of frustration and disappointment because you work with the business and you spend a lot of time and effort to make sure that they do the right things, they take the right calls, and when that gets sort of wrongly implemented, you do get a sense of frustration or disappointment, of course.
I believe personally that India is going through a lot of transformation with regards to technology, with regards to AI, data, analytics, and everything. Can you cite a few innovative initiatives that you have picked up recently, or some time back, which have helped strategize more or do things much better, or re-engineer your processing?
So I think as far as technology is concerned, we have a lot of catch-up to do. And there's no shame in accepting that, because that's the first step towards
knowing what you don't know is the biggest thing.
Exactly. So we've just started taking baby steps towards embracing some bit of technology and dependence on the technology. But we have a long way to go. So there is a roadmap, and I guess we're on the right track, but it has to be done in phases. We first have to do some catch up before we can start flying in that direction.
There is a lot of trend in India with individual cake bakers. Every other person starts baking. So many advertisement on Insta. So how do you keep up with this challenging dynamics of India market, especially in the cake segment?
So I guess the first response to this question is that it's a welcome change in the Indian environment, because it only enhances the penetration of the category to more and more consumers and more target groups, and it's a no-brainer that the kind of choice that and the shopping experience that we can offer to our customers it cannot be replicated in an environment which is dependent on home bakers and quick commerce supply system. So we have a different set of values or different set of benefits to offer to our consumers, and we feel very confident that we are on the right track in terms of continuing to be a large brick and mortar business rather than being a quick commerce or a delivery system.
So what do you categorize your brand as? Is it a young people's brand, or is it a celebration brand?
Yes, it is. No, don't cut. Okay.
Done? Can we start?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
So what do you associate your brand with? Is it a celebration brand or a young brand, or which category is your more brand?
Okay. Good question. So our target group is very, very clear. We want to target the middle segment in terms of the socio-economic classification as we see it, and in terms of our target group, we are gradually moving from a little elderly person's brand to now a more younger person's brand, so that we remain relevant in this market for a long time. And all our positioning, our communication, our advertising strategy, they're all sinking in to talk to this young, new, emerging Indian youth. Yeah, that's far more experimentative, explorative, and has a much larger risk appetite when it comes to indulging in new things.
Aseem, I have been following the social media of Mio More and Mickey's for some time now after my joining. I am surprised to see How fast and quick you guys are with your marketing campaigns and advertisements that comes up, especially when the Chandrayans thing was happening. The news was there and the cake was here. I mean, how do you manage your marketing like so prompt and to the time like this?
Yeah, I mean, this is no rocket science because there's no one team or one person working behind 10 different things. There are different teams, different projects people are chasing.
I think you're pushing too many celebrations on people's calendar, is what I see. You don't leave any occasion to celebrate.
It's a part of the strategy for both the businesses because the Myanmar business, the fresh cakes business, is a very topical business. And for the Winkies brand, we want to leverage all these events which are happening all across the country into making it more fun and frolic and associating that feeling of achievement, of success with a brand of Winkies. I mean, that's clearly a strategy that we follow.
Great. So let me ask you a few of the questions on the personal side of you that people may not be aware of. When you wind up your day, what do you look forward to?
When I wind up my day, I normally wind it up by setting a little mental calendar for the following day. And it may not be all work. It can be a mix of what I want to engage with on a personal basis and of course what I need to achieve on the work side. So yeah, that's how I normally close my day. So I have a very fixed calendar in my mind. I'm a little clinical in that sense in my work planning. So I don't get up from the bed and then decide what I have to do. It's normally quite structured.
Very planned.
Yeah, if you see my calendar, it's sort of nearly every hour is blocked.
Excellent.
For the next like 3 months.
Too much of a planner.
Yeah, too much of a planner.
You don't like surprises.
But exactly. But
so let me ask you some surprising questions.
all right. Okay.
What is
Bring
your
it on.
So what is your favorite sweets product?
My favorite sweets product is a small cupcake that I always used to carry even before I joined the Swiss group in my bag, and till date that's my go-to snack.
Okay.
And a backup snack in case I have to feel hungry. Any point of time.
Okay. So tell me something about your kids, your family, your inspiration from the childhood, Aseem.
Yeah, so my career has been quite boring in that sense because I've always been linked to consumer products, B2C portfolios. So it's been a very long journey, and I've not taken any plunge outside of this core FMCG, B2C kind of a portfolio. So that's why I'm saying it's boring.
You haven't experimented, is what you're trying to
my
say.
kids are far more experimentative.
Oh.
I have 2 sons, and both of them are. One of them is working, the other one is going back to work.
Okay.
And at least one of them has dabbled from IT to finance, to engineering, to strategy. So I think the kids of today have far more options, and that's one of the reasons why they can afford to, indulge in so many different kinds of career, optionalities.
Did your kids inspire you in any shape and form in the way you operate or in your leadership style?
Yes, of course. Not just my kids alone, but the kids of this generation. I still remember the day when I inducted about 4 management trainees in my last organization, and I happened to tell them one day that we'll have a meeting at 6:30. And one of them reacted back and said, "But boss, that's my gym time." And that's what
work-life balance.
That's what set me thinking that I cannot impose my working style and my timings on to other people. I have to respect that.
Right.
And this generation is very different because it wants to practice work-life balance from the word go. They're not like us. They're not like 18 hours a day of work. They have their work time and they have their me time. So I think that's to be respected.
Excellent. Aseem, what message do you have for the young professionals out there joining SWITS and trying to build a career here?
So I think one message that I would give is that I think this group and the set of organizations that I've so far seen in the group,
Most of them have been big corporates.
right? offer a very nice blend of task and people. And I think that's the recalibration that the managers of tomorrow need to do from the word go as they start their careers. In our times, we have seen that either somebody used to start from the task side or from the people side, and then spent a lot of years in trying to balance. But an organization or a group like ours gives you that chance to operate in the gray, and I think that's something which needs to be embraced and nurtured.
Aseem, I'm personally very impressed by looking at what you have done in India in your short time of joining, and I'm very excited and looking forward for us to be working together on the various big IT transformation initiatives that we have picked up, and it's I'm sure that you will embrace the technology change and bring in a business transformation as well. Having said that, let me ask you another surprising question. So, if you were to go on a date with one of the celebrity chefs, who would it be and why?
No, I would not go on a date with celebrities.
You're too scared of your wife.
No, I'll go on a date with you
Oh,
because I want to know more about technology, and that's something which I want you to update me
that
on.
was a smart answer.
Yeah, you should update me on technology.
But you promised me you wouldn't discuss projects with me on the date.
No. So that depends on you. But I'd love to hear more about your plans on how you want to influence the business back
Okay.
and help us to catch up.
It doesn't sound a date at all, it sounds a meeting.
Bring it on.
Thank you so much, Aseem.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, and it was lovely having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.